Hi guys, today we're going to work in our Bats and Spiders Lapbook. So we're going to keep everything that we're doing in this pocket until we actually use it. So last time we set all of this up so that we're all organized and ready to go. Today we're going to focus on this little Lift the Flap book. What we're going to do is we're going to read, and then we're going to do some drawings, some diagrams and illustrations that go with it. You will need your crayons or your colored pencils to do your drawings for this one. Once we're finished with everything, if you want to spend some time coloring all of this in to make it look cute, if you enjoy decorating and coloring, I would encourage you to do that. If we were in the classroom, this would be something that you could work on during our read alouds or other times like that, but because we're out of the classroom, I'm not going to give you specific time to do that. But I'll tell you what, these books, these lap books, look way cooler if you spend a few minutes doing some coloring. As with all of, or I should say most of our coloring stuff that we do, I do ask that you primarily use colored pencil and crayons and things like this. When you have something like the front page of this where you're gluing it on top of something and you don't have to use the back side, it's okay usually. But when we have something like this and you do a bunch of marker coloring, it can bleed through and wreck the pages behind it. I know that that was something I really learned about when I was a second grader, and so I just try to prevent that with my own students. Okay, so during that time I was talking, I'm hoping that you took a moment to gather up your materials and we're ready to start. So we're going to read this together and we're going to draw some diagrams all about bats. I think I'll go ahead and zoom in a little bit so that you can see the words really well. I'm going to go ahead and put a little fold up at the top so that's not coming down. This part right here, this blank space, that's where we're going to do our diagram. There are many species of bats all over the world. Over 900 species of bats exist in the world. Bats are not birds. They are mammals. Bats make a quarter of all the mammal species worldwide. Some bats are small and some are large. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and show how many mammals are bats and how many are other things. So a mammal is a creature. We are mammals, humans are mammals, and so we belong in the same animal family as bats. So mammals are creatures that aren't born from an egg. So they're born from their mom's body. They drink milk from their mom. They have hair. They are warm-blooded. And there's something else too. So when that comes to me, so hair, warm-blooded, are born from a mom. They breathe oxygen. That's one of the other ones. So it has to be all of those things to make it a mammal. And so we're going to go ahead and draw a circle here. And this is going to be a fraction picture. And then really lightly, I'm going to draw a line that goes down like this, and another line that goes across like this. And so our circle is divided into 4 sections. Now I'm going to take a colored pencil and I'm just going to go ahead and color one piece of that. So you'll notice that there are 4 pieces. If this was a pizza, it'd be divided into 4 pieces. And I'm just going to color that one piece. So mammals are humans, monkeys, whales are mammals, dogs and cats are mammals. A lot of the things that we'd have as pets are mammals, but not snakes. Snakes are not mammals. They're born from eggs. They don't have hair. They don't drink mother's milk. Lizards are not mammals. Turtles are not mammals. They're cold-blooded creatures. So those are not mammals. And so when we talk about mammals, we're talking about usually like furry critters. So, and the rest of these are represent the other mammals, including humans. So of all the mammals in the whole world, if this is a pie chart and this is all the mammals that there are, elephants and lions and tigers and leopards and all those things are mammals, the purple part are bats. That's how many different kinds of bats there are. Okay, so we have to label our chart, mammals. And right here, we're gonna write bats to show that 1/4, 1/4, one piece out of the whole 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1/4 are bats. So that's pretty amazing. So out of all the species, there are many species of bats. Over 900 species of bats exist in the world. That's a lot of bats in the world. Next page. So if at any time you need to pause the video so that you can finish the drawing or words, you should do that. So if you weren't finished with this yet, pause the video until you're finished and then turn the page. Small bats eat night bugs like mosquitoes and moths. Large bats eat fruit found on trees in the rainforests. Other bats eat frogs, fish, scorpions, and plant nectar. One small brown bat can eat up to 1,000 mosquitoes in an hour. Bats are natural pest controllers. So I'm going to go ahead and just draw a couple of insects. So one of the insects I'm going to draw is going to be a mosquito. Mosquitoes have that long sucker that come out of them. And then it's got its wings. On the other side, it's got its wings. It has 6 legs. Okay, there's one thing that it eats. Let's see, what else do they eat? Some eat fruit. So I'm gonna go ahead and draw an apple. And then I'm gonna draw some grapes. Just drawing some things that I know how to draw from that list. So fruit, mosquitoes, moths. Okay, so a way that you can draw a moth, so fruit. I need to label my drawing since we're making diagrams. A way that you can draw a moth is you draw a heart and you put it on a hot dog. And then you draw a second heart that's smaller. And really it should have 3 sections because a moth is an insect. And then we can make its legs. And then we can color that in a minute. So there's a moth. Some eat frogs. Okay, so a frog, I'm gonna go ahead and draw his legs and his feet. This is just how I do it. Doesn't mean that's how you have to do it. Ribbit, ribbit. And he's got his big eyes there. So there's my frog. Okay. So I drew 4 things that mosquitoes eat, or sorry, bats eat. You can draw all 4 if you want to, or you can just draw 1 or 2. It's up to you. I'm gonna let you decide. I think it's interesting to have all those things included, and then I'm gonna go ahead and color them. I like to draw in pencil first, because then if I make a mistake, I can go back and fix it. I have purple grapes. And grapes sometimes have that little curly thing. Oops, and I get a darker green for that. That green doesn't work. Let's see, here we go. You ever find that sometimes it's fun to make sound effects while you do your drawings? I like to do that. Let's get a bright red, juicy apple. It's more of a violet, oopsie daisy, but that's okay. We still know what that is, don't we? Mosquitoes are usually brown. I want to swat this mosquito. I do not like mosquitoes. Even more than not liking mosquitoes, I do not like mosquito bites. They get so itchy. My parents live in Idaho, and they have a lot of mosquitoes and they have a lot of bats. And sometimes at night the bats get into the house and they have to catch them. I actually have a bat at school that my dad found that had died, and he spread it out and dried it out for me. And so I have it in like a picture frame at school. So if we were at school at this time of year, you would be able to look at my bat. And I also have a tarantula exoskeleton that I have in my classroom. Kind of just interesting stuff that I have. I'm putting those hearts because oftentimes moths have these things, these spots and stuff, these markings that look like eyes on them. And moths usually aren't colorful. They're usually whites and browns because they're trying to blend in with trees. So there's my moth. Mosquitoes, moth, fruit, and frogs. Okay, let's go on to from food to behavior. Once again, if you're not finished, pause until you go to the next page. Bats feed during the night. Bats sleep during the day. This is why bats are called nocturnal. Ooh, I want to underline that word, nocturnal. That's interesting. Bats sleep in trees, caves, rock crevices, and buildings. Bats can be found almost anywhere in the world except the polar regions and extreme deserts. Some bats can live up to 30 years. Wow. So polar regions are where it snows, like where it's very, very cold. So bats can be found almost anywhere, but not in those polar regions where it's very, very cold. My parents, I was talking about the bats before, they used to have a bat problem. You know, some people's houses get infested with mice. Their house got infested with bats, and so they had it was an old house, and so they had to have a new roof that had to be put onto it. And that had to happen during the winter when all the bats had migrated away. All right, so I'm going to draw a bat. So to draw a bat, I just do like a little half moon, whoop, and then like the bottom of an umbrella. And I know that this is not a scientific drawing of a bat, but you can get the idea of the bat. So bats fly at nighttime. And so the other thing I'm going to put up here is I'm going to make a moon. I'm going to do a crescent moon because if I draw a whole circle, it will look kind of like it's a sunshine. So I'm just going to draw the crescent moon. And I'm going to go ahead and put a couple stars in the sky too. You know what else I want to draw? You know how at nighttime you just see the shadow of trees? I'm going to go ahead and draw a trunk. It's going to be kind of a spooky trunk because it's October. And sometimes we like to do spooky stuff in October. There's my spooky trunk, and I'm going to go ahead and make some spooky branches that come out of it. Oh, I like that spooky tree. My birthday's in October, and so I've always liked the October spookies. It's always been kind of a part of my life. So I like drawing that. I don't know if you like the spookies. All right, and so I'm gonna go ahead, maybe I'm gonna draw like a cloudy, maybe it's a little bit of a cloudy night in my bat world. So I'm drawing, oh, I know, I'm gonna draw some mist. Oh, it's a misty, foggy night in my bat world. Oh, I like it. I like it. All right. So then, now that I have my nocturnal world all drawn out there, where did my pencil go? I have lost track of my pencil, friends. Here it is. I'm gonna go ahead and write this word. Nocturnal. Nocturnal means that this creature is active during the night and sleeps during the day. If it was awake during the daytime instead, it would be diurnal. Isn't that interesting? Instead of noct, it would say di, diurnal. But bats are nocturnal, which means they sleep during the day and are active at night. All right. Remember, you should have paused if you weren't done with that yet. Bat senses. Bats have very good hearing. Bats make sounds that echo off of objects in front of them. These sounds help the bats find their way in the dark. Bats can also see. Bats are not blind. Okay, so they send out a sound that goes in front of them. And so once again, I'm going to go ahead and draw my friend the bat. And I'm going to teach you a science word, because I think they should have taught you the science word for what that is called. It's called echolocation. And you may have heard that from Nemo. I'm going to write that word right here, and I want you to write it too on the bottom. Echo, whoops, here I go spelling it wrong straight away. E-C-H-O, echo, lo, L-O, echolocation, C-A-T-I-O-N, echolocation. And so what that means is the bat sends out a sound wave, and when the sound wave bounces off, whatever it is, they know to turn. And so this is supposed to be kind of like their sound waves, okay? So when they send that out, when its sound stops, they can sense that and understand when to stop or turn. It's amazing to watch bats fly around, because there they go, flying around, and they never seem to hit a wall. It's crazy. So that's a really simple drawing, but that big word, echolocation. They send out an echo and it helps them be located. That's kind of the way you can think about that. So pause if you haven't finished that one. We're at the very end of it. It's about baby bats. Oh, cute little baby bats. Bats have baby bats. Baby bats are called pups. Bats usually have one pup at a time, but sometimes they will have twins. Some species of baby bats grow up and are flying and hunting on their own within 1 month of birth. Pups hang on to the mother's stomach until they can fly. All right, so here I'm going to draw a bigger bat this time. Oops. A little rainbow and the umbrella. And then I'm going to draw the little baby bat right here, hanging on to Mama's tummy. And then I'm going to label that baby bat with, what was that science word for baby bats? Do you know what that was? That's the pup. Put a little arrow, and then in parentheses, I'm going to write baby bat. All right, so there's that bat flying around with a little baby bat hanging on to her. All right, friends, that's it for today. And remember, if you want to, you can color all that in and make it look all cute. Next time, we'll be talking about spiders.